Well, hello everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of the 11 Bang Bang Professional Baseball Team. I'm your host, who's on first, and the cameraman is what's on second? Oh, I don't know. Anyhow, my face is very dirty because we already completed this video, and if you couldn't tell by the excitement on my face, I'm a little bit happy. And here's where we do our shout out to our beloved Patreon supporters who are helping make this sort of thing possible. And those are going to be people like Byland and C, Brian Proxmire, Ian Harris, Diane Houston, John Jackson, and Jacob Elbick Edgeguard Pedersen. I would also like to thank Captain Ron's 18th Century YouTube channel. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check that channel out. It is great, and he was the one that kind of got me inspired to do this little project that we're going to do today. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Now, on with the show. I promise I still love you. No, I never said you were getting fat. Okay, so yes, I've been hanging out with the old Brown Bessie girl from Italy here lately a lot. But I hate to say it, just to be honest, you're not as good as you used to be. But luckily, too, some companies like Track of the Wolf and the Rifle Shop, let's see if we can do something about that. What do you say, old girl? You want another chance? Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video on the 11 Bang Bang channel. I'm your host, Ethan Woods, and we are working on another flintlock today. And it just so happens that the old flintlock we were working on, knock everything over, is Old Char here. Old Char is my Charleville Musket from Military Heritage. I've had this gun for several years now, and she has gone through about 2,600 rounds, approximately. And we have gotten to the point now where, you can see here, we barely get any spark. Got a little bit that time. Try it again. Yeah, not any that time. And the reason for that is because, if you can see here, our hammer has been worn through the case hardening. And so we've got a few options. We're going to do some experimentation. First of all, we are probably going to go ahead and re-harden this hammer here and see if we can't make it work again. But I'm going to try replacing it with this hammer from the Rifle Shop. Compare the two of those together. They're actually pretty close in size. But, yeah, we'll try to put this Rifle Shop hammer on there. It's a little different design, but not by much, really. We'll see how that works. And if I'm feeling froggy, we may even try to do a mainspring. Now, this might be a little bit of a chore because this is actually a casting. So it's not hardened at all right now, and it actually has to be fit to the gun. Kind of like that, actually, though, because these Military Heritage guns are kind of built like the originals. And no, by the way, my hand's still not bleeding. That's the dye from my experiment that, yes, Stephen M. Mann, my experiment did fail. The experiment won. I did not. But we're going to have to fit this to the gun. And I kind of like that because that means that these Military Heritage guns, they're not all the same. This, you can make it fit in your Military Heritage gun. I can almost guarantee you that I can make this fit into this gun. And it's actually pretty close to the same size as the one that is in it now. So, yeah, we'll see. My only fear is that a long time ago I actually widened the pan out on this gun. And I'm hoping that I didn't widen it too. I mean, it's good for the hammer that's on it now, but I'm hoping I didn't widen it too much for this one. Because that's one dimension that is a little smaller, is the size of this right here, the bottom of it. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to cut these gates off, polish it up real good, and we're going to heat treat this. But let's go ahead and let's get this all cleaned up and ready to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the Frizzen here. Yep, make sure that's the right one. Fit to the gun fairly decently, as you can see there. Yeah, she's about ready to get heat treated here on the back. Got this all polished up about as good as I'm going to get it, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and go through the process of heat treating this, and I think this is going to work pretty good, guys. So let me read the instructions on what it says to do. So as I said before, we got True Spark from Track of the Wolf, and here's the instructions. To harden a frizzen, lightly grind the face of the frizzen, removing all scratches and marks. We've done that. Polish the face bright and smooth, lengthwise. Did that. A textured frizzen face slows lock time, erodes the flint edges, and reduces sparking. Clamp the frizzen across the pivot screw hole in the toe using vice grip pliers. The pliers serve as a heat sink to avoid over-hardening the toe and as a convenient handle. Fill a metal container with hot tap water. The temperature difference between cold water and hot tap water can be enough to cause cracking in some frizzens. Clean water is essential, and soap contaminates quench water. Adjust your oxygen settling torch for a slightly fuel-rich, reducing flame, not smoking, only slightly fuel-rich, i.e. more than 50% acetylene in mix. Apply the flame to the back of the frizzen opposite of the face, so that'll be, we're going to put the flame right here on this side, and then this is the side we're going to be watching. Heat the frizzen to a temperature higher than 1650 degrees Fahrenheit, also known as a medium cherry red. When viewed indoors, the frizzen will become non-magnetic. Scoop the hot frizzen into the True Spark powder, causing a skin of powder to melt and adhere to the face. Now here's where I've seen some people do like they say in here, and they dip it in, or they scoop it, as they say. But I've also seen people just take and sprinkle it on the top and do it that way. And so I think that would be the best way to do it personally. That way you don't risk, just getting a bunch on there and then it just all falling off. But we might try that. Hold the frizzen at about 1650 degrees Fahrenheit cherry red heat for at least 120 seconds or more. Not less. So once we get this dipped in there, we got the True Spark compound on top of the face here, or we just sprinkle a little on. We're going to hold that temperature for about 120 seconds, aka 2 minutes. Do not overheat the frizzen. It must not become yellow hot, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Time increases case hardened depth. So evidently the longer you hold this on here with that heat, the deeper our case hardening is going to get. Immediately quench the frizzen. Insert it into quench water, making a figure 8 to allow it to cool quickly. Use fine emery cloth to clean the face of the frizzen bright. Polish lengthwise, not across the frizzen face. You must temper the frizzen toe before use. Polish the bottom of the pan cover with fine emery paper until it is bright. This will allow you to easily see the temper color change. Apply heat from a small propane torch, we have that over there, flame to the tip of the toe until it is temper blue. So that's going to be this right here. Slowly lead the temper blue down the pan cover and remove the heat as it creeps over to the corner of the frizzen face. Let the frizzen air cool, and then polish the pivot hole and apply Birchwood Casey's choke tube lubricant to the pivot screw. Use the best quality hand napped gun flint, never dry fire, yada yada yada. Okay, that's just instructions afterwards. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to heat this thing up until it is cherry red from this back side here. We're then, once it's heated up that hot, we're going to dip it into our solution here, which, just as a practice run kind of here. I think I like the idea of just taking and sprinkling some of it on there. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So I think that's what we're going to end up doing, is we're going to actually just take and sprinkle some on there. I think the reason they tell you not to do that is because you probably tend to waste a lot. But that's what we're going to try to attempt to do. So...
It does say not to do that?
No, it doesn't say not to do that. Yeah, without further ado, let's get to it.
I'll do the torch. You're recording it. Where's the lighter?
Alright, here we go. Make sure you got a lower oxygen level.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready for me to light.
Light. Send it.
I don't know what that looks like on the camera.
Probably not very good. Yeah, that was very open.
Okay. Remember, we're going to have to hold this heat for 2 minutes, so we may have to pull it off, back it up. We want it nice, cherry red. That's getting pretty close. What do you think? Alright, get ready to pull back. Okay. Alright, grab the boiler. That's probably too much, but we'll find out. Do a little more around the base. Alright, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Alright, so now we're going to do the tempering portion, which, according to the instructions, says to start heating the toe with a propane torch until it starts to blue, which it's starting to right there, and then bring that blue all the way up the bottom of the pan cover here until we start to reach the face of the hammer. And then at that point we'll remove the heat and let it cool naturally, and that'll get us our temper. So we went ahead and we've done what the instructions said to do. We have blued it basically from the toe all the way down across the bottom of the pan cover there, and then just over the edge onto the face. So that should be fairly well tempered now. Now we just got to sit here and let it cool naturally. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a try. Please work. Oh, that was a lot of, that's a shower of sparks. I want to try that again. I want to try it again. I think we got it. Yes.
Bye.
I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty excited about that, considering that's the first time I've ever messed with a lock casting, and I got those results. That's amazing. Now, here's my disclaimer. I have one problem here. It's loose when we're sitting down, and that's because this spring is not right for this hammer here. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is getting a new spring from the Rifle Shop, one that I can form out, or maybe try to push this one out. I don't know. But holy cow, that's... Old Char, you might be coming back to life, girl. I want to try that again. I think the Pederzoli's got a run for its money now. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. Trust in God. And keep your powder dry. Bye.